A Jesuit priest locked himself in a room in 1949 and started writing everything down, because what was happening to a 14-year-old boy in a Maryland house was about to require 20 to 30 sessions of an official Catholic rite just to make it stop. That diary became the real source behind The Exorcist. Almost none of what's in it matches the movie. Tonight we go through what a priest actually wrote down in real time while it was happening, and what it says really ended on April 18th, 1949.
It is January 1949, and inside a small house in Mount Rainier, Maryland, a bed is moving across the floor with absolutely no one touching it. A 14-year-old boy lies awake, just listening to this relentless scratching inside the walls.
His terrified family? They're going to spend the next 3 months desperately trying to find someone, anyone, who can explain what is happening to him. Before this all ends, multiple Christian denominations and a team of Jesuit priests will be called in to face a crisis that completely paralyzed a household.
Now, the boy himself is remembered today only by pseudonyms. You've probably heard Roland Doe or maybe Robbie Mannheim, which honors the family's strict wish for anonymity. And here's the thing we need to establish right away in this explainer. Whatever happened to him, it started and it definitively stopped. The ending of this case is fully documented. The actual cause, well, that's a permanent mystery.
So let's look at how this escalated. The disturbances reportedly kicked off weeks earlier, right after the boy used a Ouija board with a recently deceased aunt. Soon after, the family started reporting scratching sounds in the walls, furniture moving without any apparent cause, and this level of severe, inconsolable distress in the boy that literally nothing could calm down.
Desperate for answers, they methodically escalated their search. They turned first to a Lutheran minister, then an Episcopal priest, and when neither could offer a solid explanation, they were eventually introduced to Catholic priests. And these priests took the case somewhere far more formal, a Catholic rite of exorcism.
Now that decision was not made lightly. It took a lead Jesuit priest named Father William S. Bowdern, assisted by a younger priest, Father Walter Holleran, agreeing to perform the formal rite, session after grueling session. And crucially, a third priest, Father Raymond J. Bishop, stepped in as the contemporaneous diarist.
And that diary is absolutely crucial. Father Bishop wrote down what he saw, in real time, sitting right there inside a locked room. This diary, which was later obtained and published in part by author Thomas B. Allen, is truly the closest thing we have to a primary source record of one of the most famous events in modern history. The sheer, grueling scale of this crisis escalated so fast. Sessions began in the Maryland area in March of 1949, and then the family relocated to St. Louis. Over 6 weeks, priests performed the rite up to 30 times, eventually moving the boy into a hospital's psychiatric ward.
And you have to remember, this wasn't happening in total isolation. Across those exhaustive weeks and various sessions, it's actually documented that up to 48 witnesses were present at different points in the room.
But here is where the story everyone thinks they know really diverges from reality. Decades later, investigative journalist Mark Opsasnick actually tracked down Father Holleran, and what he uncovered was a far narrower, far more grounded reality than the explosive Hollywood myths of constant levitation and inhuman demonic voices. In fact, Holleran told the journalist something pretty startling. He admitted he never personally heard the boy's voice change into anything inhuman. Instead, he suspected the boy was just mimicking Latin phrases he'd heard the priest repeat over and over. And those spontaneous scratch marks on the boy's body? Well, Holleran admitted he never actually checked the boy's fingernails to see if he was making them himself.
So this creates a profound tension right at the center of the historical record. On one hand, the priests who spent 6 weeks in that room genuinely believed they were fighting a paranormal affliction. On the other hand, psychiatrists and skeptical investigators look at the exact same diary and propose a completely different frame, a grieving, troubled adolescent in a highly suggestible environment, caught in a self-reinforcing psychiatric loop. And the truth is, neither side possesses a smoking gun that entirely destroys the other's argument. That disagreement over what actually caused the crisis, it has never been closed by any court, tribunal, or medical board. And honestly, it almost certainly never will be.
But what we can say with total confidence is exactly what happened on April 18th, 1949. In a chapel inside the Alexian Brothers Hospital, right during the final session, the boy reportedly spoke a final Latin phrase,
Christus Domini, which means Christ of the Lord. And this was immediately followed by a loud noise.
And then, according to literally every account that survives, it stopped. It didn't slowly fade away, it stopped. The symptoms did not return that night or the next week or ever again.
Of course, for the rest of the world, the story was just getting started. In August 1949, a leaked Washington Post article fired up this massive myth-making machine. By 1971, William Peter Blatty publishes The Exorcist, and by 1973, that film adaptation turns a very private family crisis into a total global phenomenon.
But the film changed a lot. It changed the child's gender, it changed the location, and it completely changed the ending. It kept the rough shape, sure, but it fundamentally altered the reality. We have to remember that beneath all that Hollywood mythos was a real boy, real priests, and a real grounded diary. So, we're left staring at this unanswerable question. Was a genuine supernatural force banished from that hospital chapel, or did a severe psychiatric loop finally break under the sheer weight of ritual, attention, and time? Like we said, it's a question without a definitive answer.
But what isn't uncertain at all is the human reality of the aftermath. A boy who couldn't be helped by two different denominations of clergy was finally at peace. At the end of the day, an incredibly frightened family just got their son back.
And then came exactly 71 years of total silence. It wasn't until October 2021 that journalist J.D. Sword, writing for the Skeptical Inquirer, published research finally identifying the boy as Ronald Edwin Hunkeler. And think about this, for over 7 decades, there wasn't a single documented recurrence of what happened in that locked room. His life essentially became a deliberate anticlimax. He built a highly successful, yet totally unremarkable adult life, working in aerospace engineering adjacent roles. He just lived an ordinary, quiet life in Maryland, carrying this immense historical secret until he died quietly in May 2020.
It's a detail so completely quiet, so totally undramatic, that you rarely see it in the retellings. But maybe, just maybe, that is the real ending this entire story was always building toward. Not a scream, not a Hollywood climax, just 7 decades of nothing happening at all.